This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to forget about the importance of the little things in our relationships. We get so caught up in our daily routines that we forget to express our love and appreciation for our wives. Writing your wife a love letter is a simple but extremely powerful gesture that can reignite the flame, if it's already dwindling, in your relationship and show her just how much you truly care about her. Today, we're going to cover 3 reasons on why you should take the time to write your wife a love letter on a consistent basis. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Husband Coach's Corner. You heard it. We're talking about love letters and writing them. Now, before we dive into the content of today's episode, what I want to do is direct you down to the description box. If you would like to help support the Husband Coach's Corner and, just keep these podcasts coming your way, consider buying me a coffee by using the link down in the description box below. It truly does mean a lot knowing that there are people out there that want to support me in this way and keep this content coming. And, anything that you want to provide is truly, truly appreciated. I also recommend that you sign up for my newsletter. I'm revamping the way that the newsletter is going out and the content that's going inside of it. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised if you're a previous or a already current subscriber to the newsletter. But if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. And when you do, you get a free copy of the Wife Journal 100% for free. Now, let's go ahead and dive right into today's content. When we talk about writing a love letter, there are 3 things that I really want to hone in on, and we're going to kind of hit these in rapid fire. But if you got questions, concerns, comments, you can easily reach me at my email address down below. But the first idea and reason why we want to write these love letters is it shows your wife that you care, all right? If you haven't learned anything in marriage, when our wives know that we care, our intimacy and our relationship thrives. It goes so much longer and it's just so much stronger. So the reason why we want to show her that we care is because hopefully the truth is that you do care. But also, sometimes that gets missed in the hustle and bustle of our relationship, with the cycles changing with kids and between sports and events and all the different things that can pull us away from each other because we're focused on other priorities. So when you take the time to write her a love letter, you're really showing her that she's still at the top of your mind and that you're still chasing after her. And, this is a very common thing that we need to do because the more we chase after our wife, the more loved she's going to feel. And the longer our marriage is going to be in the positive side of things, right? Because if you do the opposite of showing her that you care, so essentially showing her that you don't care, you're going to find yourself on the negative side of your marriage, and it's really going to impact and cause this friction and tension. So taking a little bit of time out of your day to send her a love letter showing her that you care, okay? It's so important because you're communicating your love and appreciation for her, that you still see her as your bride, just like you did when you pursued her, when you proposed to her. that hopefully over the years, you're taking some time to really unpack why you still love your wife. And when you get a good amount of these gathered together, right, as you give them to your wife, this is going to create a book. And think about the legacy that you'll be able to share with your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. This book will hopefully surpass you and be able to show what it really means to love your wife. And that's so important. So the first reason why we want to write a love letter is it shows her that we care. The second reason, along the same vein of what I was just explaining, is it helps you express your feelings. Now, men, don't shy away from your feelings. We have them. We need to embrace them. Our wives, they want to know what our feelings are. They want to know what we're going through, why we're going through it, how it's impacting us. And they want to be there with us, right? Most wives, they naturally lean towards the empathetic side of loving us. But for the husband, sometimes we want to be macho and withhold that. When you have the time to write your wife a love letter, you can really just be genuine and open, because no matter what you write in that letter, as you express how you feel about her, guess what? You are going to win mad brownie points. And your wife isn't going to clown you or make fun of you. She may tease you a little bit if it's out of character for you. But then that's when you can say, hey, this is really how I feel, though. And I just wanted you to know that, and I wanted to capture it so that way it will be forever encapsulated in time. Now, I do understand sometimes it's difficult for us to express our feelings, especially verbally, but usually in written form, we can find the words because we're taking our time to really think through what it is that we're saying, how we're saying it. And, you know, it's a little bit easier to do this in writing. Now, I already talked about it being embarrassing, and that's something that you're just going to have to get over, because you don't have to share this, you know, as I mentioned before, you don't have to share this with your kids. But over the years, eventually, you know, when you're gone, if this book is still around and your kids come across it, it's probably going to be a good thing that they came across this, to get to know who you were and why you love their mother, why you love their grandmother. Just think about that. All right. That's the true meaning of just being able to express your feelings in an open and free form. Now, writing a love letter, it truly does allow you to express your emotions, and you can do this in a concise way. So I'm not saying that you have to write this in like long essay format. No, it could be a paragraph. Like, I know I'm saying letter, but I'm really meaning a love note. And I do recommend that when you write these, that you do it on a piece of paper with a pen, the old-fashioned way. And there's something more intimate and real about that. There's a tangible aspect of it. And if you want, you know, this is bonus content, you could throw this love letter in the mail. All right. I'm not going to tell you how to deliver the love letter, but you should absolutely take the time to write the note, write the letter, give it to your wife. All right. Hopefully that makes sense.
This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
So far, just to recap, we talked about it shows her that you care, and it helps you express your feelings. The last thought on this is it keeps the romance alive. Man, you have no idea how many men I have coached, I should say, that they're just feeling that the romance is gone, or their wife tells them that there's no romance. And romance is a very subjective thing. And this letter, make it your own, but make it in a way that you know will show your wife that you are being romantic towards her, that this is a romantic gesture specifically for your wife, and it makes her feel special. Pretend like you're not married and you're engaged or getting ready to propose. What were the things that drove you to wanting to say, will you marry me? Write those things down. And it's okay if they're redundant, because if you do this drill multiple times over, it's okay if it's redundant, because the more redundant you are, when your wife can say, oh yeah, that's the reason why you love me, then she knows it. And, you know, in previous episodes, I talked about when you say, I love you, your wife will connect this letter, the thing that you said that you love her for. Every time you say, I love you, you're actually saying all of the things that you've written in these letters over time. Do you see how romantic and impactful that is? Like, guys, this is good stuff. All right. I don't get excited about many things, but this right here is just an amazing way to really highlight your relationship with your wife, to empower her, to embrace her, and to really develop a romantic life with your wife. Because guess what? When you write these letters, your wife has to respond. I've talked about this multiple times. The reason why we want to do things, right? Find a way to love our wife. That's you actively engaging in a loving action to show your wife that you are present and available in the marriage. The reason why you want to do this is because your wife has to respond. And I get it. Not every wife is going to respond the way that we would hope that they would. But guess what? She still has to respond. And if you don't get the response you were hoping for, then guess what? Do it again. And then do it again. But change little things here and there to see what works the best for your relationship, for your wife, and overall for your marriage. All right? Rekindle that romance, write a love letter, take some time, 5 minutes, jot down 3 to 4 sentences that really express how you feel about your wife. And if you need to, because maybe you need to take a little bit more time to write this out. Guess what? Your wife doesn't know when you're going to give her this love letter. So you could take 3 to 4 days to write this letter, and you just pile on little by little, and then you deliver it to her. It's so important that you get to that delivery, though. All right. Don't just jot down your feelings on a piece of paper, because guess what? If your wife never sees it, she doesn't know unless you tell her. But then you're not doing this drill, right? You're doing a different drill. So the point here is you don't want to just write the letter and then put it in a drawer and hope someday that you'll give it to her. Instead, write the letter, fold it up, put it in an envelope. And if you want to, put it in the mail and have it show up and let her check the mail to get it, then so be it. Or just fold the letter up and put it on her pillow. Put it in her lunchbox. If your wife has a lunchbox, that's cool. That's just my culture. We call lunch pails lunch boxes, but you get what I'm saying. Look, put the letter somewhere where she can get it, and make sure that she will have, like, in a place where it's private, so that way she can really take some time to process it. Because if this is the first time you're doing it and your marriage is on the rocks, it's going to catch her off guard. And let me give a disclaimer here, because this has happened in the past. And if you do this drill and your marriage is on the rocks and you guys are struggling and you're just trying to figure out ways to re-engage with your wife and just rekindle the marriage overall, and she gets the letter and she crumbles it up, or I've heard of people burning them, don't get discouraged. Okay? Don't get discouraged. Instead, find a different way to make it known. All right. For you, maybe you need to do the love sticky note. Instead of a love letter, just write words, like 2 to 3 words. You are an amazing woman. Or I guess that's a little elementary. We'll go to the collegiate level and say, you mesmerize me with your beauty, right? Boom. Pop that on the mirror. Guess what? When she sees it, she's going to have to read that. And even if she does decide to burn it, she's already internalized the information. Remember, when we do things, our wives have to respond. They don't get a choice not to respond. Okay. And yes, in theory, a non-response is a response. However, most wives will respond and they will tell you if they appreciate it or if they don't appreciate it. And then that opens up a line of communication and, you can really go from there. So the goal here is you write these love letters. And if your marriage is healthy, then this is something that you really, really want to do. And I'm getting so excited because I'm getting ready to write one for my wife by way of a card that I bought from the store. So you can even go to a store, buy a card, and then just write a love letter inside of that card. And that has a different level of meaning. Okay. So there's so many ways that you could do this. Make it your own, make it work for your marriage. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there and let you kind of think on that, chew on it, and make it your own. But it's really my hope that you consider writing your wife a heartfelt love letter that expresses your emotion, shows her that you care, and rekindles your romance. And this, my friends, is just one method that you can use to find a way to love your wife every day.